Isn't this cool? And it looks so good. Today, I'm going to show you how I made this horizontal fence with gate. Let's get into it. So now I'm just going to butt up to this post and pull a measurement horizontally to the edge of this post. And then later on in the video, I'll show you how we tie it all together to make it look all pretty. So we had 55 3/4. Then I'll do the same over here. And that one's 55. And so I know my height. I want it about 6 foot, but horizontally, so that's 72 inches. So I know I'll need at least probably around 12 pickets, 11 or 12, depending on how much I space.
Never really know what's going on. Look at me sometimes like all you want to do is run. Hear me out, hear me out. It's all the things you know.
55, and that's just pretty close here to the edge. Doesn't have to be exact, but at least within an eighth or a quarter. And we'll fix that here in a little bit.
Secrets start in your heart so slow. But if you don't want to tell me now, I guess I'll never know. Losing almost all my energy. It's getting hard to talk to you, and I'm the only one who speaks. It's all the things you never show. There are the things I want to know.
There we go. Perfect. All right, so now, but we'll at least get going on the frame next and get that dude knocked out. So let's get going on that. Okay, it's a new day. Had to stop early last night. Had a little family emergency. My daughter needed me to jump on the trampoline, and then it got dark. So here we are. Boom. We are about to start this frame now. And what we're gonna do is just gonna go ahead and basically put these in here like so. And I'll get it, basically, our panel is about here, so I'll just get it flush. And I'll go ahead and screw these in. Let me flip this around here. Here we go. Let's do it from the back. We'll screw that in, get our bottom in, and then we'll start to box it in. So I'll bring the camera in here, let you see what I'm doing here, how I'm gonna fasten it, how I'm gonna fasten it together, and we'll start putting this thing together. All right, so to make life a little easier here, made a little mark. I'm gonna mark down 1.5 inches for the thickness of the 2x4. Make a mark. Just kind of square that across real quick. Okay, then I'm going to set these little blocks, and this will just help so we can lay it on there, and all we have to do is just hold the front. Hold it with our line there. Okay. So mark down 1.5 inches. Oh, just always try to just square it off the best you can, just so the piece you're putting on will be somewhat easier to be nice and square. Go. Okay, so now all we gotta do just hold it flush with the face of the post here. Make sure it's on both sides. Okay. There we go. Should be good for now. Get this off. Nice and flush with the face. And I will grab a level real quick. All right. Okay. All right, so now that we got those set roughly, we'll go ahead and put our 2x4. Here, I'll do it this way so you can see it a little better. Bing, right there. Trace a little line. Trace a little line right here. Go. Then we'll cut those. I would suggest also making sure that you seal up these ends too on all your wood. Doesn't take long, and it goes a long way to keeping the stuff that you work hard to make last a lot longer. So now, get these in here. So as you can see, my hinges are going to be on that side because it's the high side. And you don't want your door going into the high side in case it sags at all and pinches. So it's just best practice. Put the hinges on this side where the door will be swinging open on the low side. So we're going to keep this side back. I want to keep it back about an inch, just so the hardware here for the latch I have plenty of clearance. Then we'll keep it back about a ½ inch on that side. But all the planks will come to a nice clean edge, and it'll look, all that will get covered up. So we're not really worried about that. Just kind of the actual functionality of how the hinges and the latches will work is why we're kind of dictating where we want to put our framing here. So latch side back an inch, hinge side ½ inch. It's just good practice. So let's get those going. Go, there's a ½ inch there. Go, ½ inch there. I'll go ahead and put a set screw in it for now. Nice and flush. So these little blocks here are an inch. So I'll just stick them in here like so. Make sure that the face is flush here. If you have a bigger clamp, this will help a lot. If you don't, no big deal. You just have to kind of have 3 hands. There we go. Now we won't have to fight holding it. All we have to do is just screw it in. Actually, now I can do this. Do the same over here. Now we can drive them down through the top. Lovely. I'll go ahead and pin wet. Probably toenail one here in the back too, just for good measure. Okay. Go ahead and put one more at the top. Maybe a little overkill, but better overbuild something than have it crappy and fall apart on you. There we go. All right. Oh, she's in there good. All right, now it's time to make this compression brace here. Get this thing in. So, best practice is go from bottom hinge to the opposite side of the top, okay? So, what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna hold this side here. All right, mark the back. And this side. Actually, mark the back. Okay, so as you can see, that is the angle here. As you can see that, got an angle there. And then the angle here. We'll cut those. All right, so now we got our compression brace, those angles cut. Stick that guy right in there like that. All right, stick a couple more in here. Just toenail it, a couple in the back here. Okay, now I'll probably add, probably just one more little brace piece here, one more here. We'll get to putting those in. Okay, so I went ahead and added the extra little support braces. You'll see too that I added this little corner, that's for a hinge, and just a little more down here. Just a little more structural support for the corners, just for something structurally for those hinges to bolt all the way into. I'll be using structural lag screws, but if you use carriage bolts, whatever you got, Then I also added these 2x, and that's just bracing for the front here. So this is all nice and flush, so this won't go in and out or up and down real bad. It'll keep it right where it needs to be. All I did was just pin some screws going straight down to get that extra support. So now what we need to do is we'll get our pickets going there, crossed here. I already took a measurement, so from this inside to this outside here was 44 inches. So I'll get to cutting all those. All right, first thing, what I want to do actually is I'm going to put this little trim piece here. I'm going to go flush with the edge of the post here and flush with the top. To cover all that up, all that riffraff there on the sides. Okay. Probably go ahead and just put one more, I guess. Screw here in the middle. Oh. And that'll be plenty, because then we'll have at least on this side, we'll have more structural screws holding everything together, but that cleans up the edges. Makes it look nice and clean there. And now we'll go ahead and put those pickets on the door.
Hold on, girl, now wait just a minute. I've got something to say, you should hear it. Oh, I'm happy to make time for your feelings, but you have to admit I already do.
Okay, so we got it all done. Looks good. As you can see though, this is in two different planes here, right? So there should be one more picket here. We'll put on each side to plane out so it's all in the same plane. I'm going to take the extra step though, and I'm actually going to picture frame this whole thing in. Just going to get a little more pizzazz, look a lot better, a little more spicy. It's going to look good. I don't see a lot of people do that, so I thought I'd just kind of take the extra step to make it look a little nicer. So what I'm going to do is just get a height from top to bottom, and then from across, and then I'll 45 all these cuts and put it together. And then we'll go ahead and then put on our hinges and our latch and detach the frame. So I'll get to going on that on the picture frame. Go. So I'll show you here how I measure this. Just go from point to point. It's 44 inches. Should be the same at the bottom. Perfect, 44 at the bottom. Then we'll cut those at a 45 on the table saw. All right, got my pieces cut here. Throw this one on top here. Let it drop right in there. Looks good. We'll put that bottom one in here. There we go, looks good. There we go, doesn't that look pretty? Okay, perfect. I'll probably throw a couple more screws in there. Oh. All right, so let's get our hinges on here. Pre-drill over here. All right, that looks pretty good. Using these 3.5 structural screws. Hold everything in. Go.
I've tried so many times to tell you good enough to just be also be the hit.
There we go. Lovely. Now we'll pull these little toe screws out that are pinning the frame in and let it free. And then we'll slide it out and cut off the edges. Come on. There we go. She was tight. All right. All right, so we're coming along. Got all our little trim pieces on. I got one little section here that I'd like to close in and tie in together here. So what I'm thinking is, see these blocks here? I can just tie into the existing gate, which I got permission. So I'm thinking I can just make a little mark here. This is where all the all the blocking was from the other fence. I can still see here. Maybe one down here. All right. And so then I will just pre-drill this little section here. Right. If I can keep it straight. And there. Try not to get too close to the edge here, because I know even if I pre-drill it, it might still want to split. So I'm trying to keep it back at least 3/8 or so. Just use this as a little guide here. We'll be getting to that next, the cap. Just gonna line it up, make sure it's close for now. Get a couple of these in. There we go. There, and that's tied it in. And honestly, I could have glued it, clamped it together, maybe put a couple pin nails and let it dry, but honestly, I just didn't want to wait. So I just did this for a quick fix, and it looks just as good. You just got a couple screws. If you look hard enough, you'll see them. So next, we'll get to the top cap. All right, so for the cap, I'm gonna do inch overhang. And then as you can see up here, I'll just mark my line there. And then just measure the distance to the edge. It looks like we got 3.5. One more measurement. And that will be from the end to across, 55.5. All right, here's the last step. Get you a garden sprayer and some deck and fence sealer, just some clear sealer. And then we'll just take our little garden pumper and just spray her thick. Make sure we coat the whole thing. Get a nice, good, thick layer on the front, covering the whole thing here. Because we'll go back, get the hardware and everything, and at the end, we'll just go ahead and wipe it down just so it's nice and smooth. But we want it to soak in and saturate the cedar.